Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to those of you who are watching that are across the pond and across the world. I am Leo Brown, and welcome to today's Psychic's Perspective. I hope you guys are having an awesome Thursday, and happy first day of fall. It is officially fall, my favorite time of year. If it is your favorite time of year, like it is mine, then be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you leave your comments with this perspective. And thank you so much for watching and for becoming a sugar bear. It means a lot to me, and I'm very grateful for all of you. So I hope you guys have enjoyed my content thus far. And there will be more coming. I do plan to do more with this channel and watch it grow. But I like the fact that it's slow and steady. After all, slow and steady wins a race. Okay, so today's psychic perspective is, move my keyboard. So today's psychic perspective is on someone that some of you may know and then some of you may not know. So today's psychic perspective is on hairstylist, entrepreneur, author. My goodness, what else? He's a television personality. Um, he he's known as like the stylist of the star. Like you have like in the white um celebrity community, you have who the like celebrity stylist community. You have or you had Jose Iber, if you know who that is, right? Love him. But in our community, in the Black community, you have this man. And the man that I am discussing and talking about is Elgin Charles. I have been a fan of this man for years. I think he's wonderful. I think he's so multifaceted and talented. And he just seems like a decent, sweet, kind person, you know. Most of you may know him as the former husband to actress Jackie Aaron. So, with that being said, I want to get started. And it's funny because doing a perspective on him, it actually came to me. What was I doing? I think I was either exercising or something like that. I think that's what I was doing. And his name just popped in my head. And I was like, that'd be a really great perspective. So I figured I would do it because majority of the times for me, when I do perspectives, I notice that when I do perspectives based on what people want, it never goes the way it doesn't flow very well. But if I do perspectives based on just good old fashioned intuition and I just get message from spirit, it flows very well. So this is, what I was told to do. So hopefully, Mr. Charles, if you see this, or if someone in your camp sees it, great. And even if you don't, even if you don't see it, or even if you do see it and it doesn't resonate, it's okay. Let me know because I'm human at the end of the day. So enough of my rambling. Let's get started. And I hope you guys are having an awesome day, like I said earlier. And if you like what you're seeing, if you like, my commentary, my content, please make sure to keep liking, subscribing, comment down below. And if you would like a reading outside of this medium, if you like, because this is actually kind of a sample reading too. So if you like a reading outside of this medium, you can log onto my website, which is psychicleo.com. That's psychicleo.com, and you can follow me on all my social media channels down below. So all the information is down in the description. So with that being said, let's get started. Elgin Charles. Okay, so let me stop here. All right, so there are four things that I shouldn't say four, three things that pop in my head immediately. So what I'm picking up, Mr. Charles, I'm going to be referring to him as Mr. Charles throughout the, actually Mr. Williams. I'll be referring to him as Mr. Williams throughout the course of the reading. So Mr. Williams, the first thing that I pick up around you is I'm picking up transition, change, but I'm also picking up business growth, expansion, things of that nature. I'm seeing things being built, either like a new salon or a new piece of property, something of that nature. I'm also seeing you training. I feel like there's people under you, almost like a mentorship program, where you're training stylists of the future, because you know that you can't do everything, number one, by yourself. And I'm also hearing you say, I can't do, I won't be, I'm not going to be doing this forever. Um, I know you have a memoir out. I do know that, but I'm actually picking up you doing you. I would not be surprised if you dabble more into writing, because I would not be surprised if you became like a Elin Harris or a Terry McMillan kind of writer, because I literally pick up you writing fiction and you doing extremely well in that, like romance and things like that. I'm seeing that for some reason. Um, hmm. I don't necessarily get you losing weight. I don't pick up you losing weight. I pick up you maintaining your weight. And what I'm picking up around me for some reason is yoga, dance, things that deal with reflexology, flexibility, things like that. I see movement around you. And I feel like that's really important to you as you grow older. You really want to be able to still move and be fluid, because I hear the word fluidity a lot. Um, I would say the main thing in regards to your health that you might want to watch is, I am picking up something to do with like the heart, but I feel like for me, it's like the mind and the heart, they're connected to one another. And I want to say maybe your stress levels, or the fact that, because I feel like you analyze, you live in your head. So I'm picking up a lot of that, Mr. Williams. Like, you live in your mind a lot, and it affects your body. Um, Meditation will be wonderful for you, some form of meditation. And it may not be necessarily where you're doing this kind of thing, but more so maybe a walking meditation, something where you can be out in nature, in particular in front of bodies of water. I feel like waterfalls, I literally see a waterfall around you. You need to do that. I'm sorry, that's my phone. One second, y'all. I'm sorry, because that kind of threw me off. One moment. Okay, there we go. But I'm seeing like a waterfall nature. Um, Not Eastern spirituality, but yeah, no, not Eastern spirituality. It's not like that. It's more of, yeah, I am getting that. I'm getting like meditation, waterfall. I'm seeing trees. Um, like Colorado, the mountains, Big Bear, places like that. That's where you need to go to kind of recharge your batteries. Let's see, what else am I picking up? Okay, I do get TV around me, right? I do pick up TV, but I kind of get a one foot in, one foot out. On one hand, you want to do TV again, but on another, you kind of don't. Excuse me. And I feel like it's more about you wanting control of the narrative. regarding television. Um, and it's interesting because you know what? I would not be surprised if you ended up doing like a talk show or something of that nature, because I do see you getting back on television, and or like some kind of interview. And it's funny, what I'm hearing in my head is Fox Soul. There's something you're going to end up doing where you're going to end up being on TV again. Probably I get the number three. So within the next maybe 3 months, or probably with like by the time we get into maybe 2023, or like the next three, like there's something around the number three that you're gonna end up doing TV again. Because I see you on TV, but I see it like your what's the word I'm looking for? Your It's like, well, you're like a correspondent. We have on here correspondent Mr. Elgin Charles. Or you know. And I'm gonna kind of switch subjects. I'm getting a lot to do with like family or family lineage. And you going back. And I'm getting connections to South Carolina, Virginia, um, North Carolina, maybe like that area of the country, that like right at the top of the Mason Dixon line. Um, and I feel like for some reason, either you're going to end up going back and visiting that part of the world. And I also get a connection to Louisiana too. Um, and I feel like you're going to end up going back and visiting that part of the world of the country, and reconnecting, because I see you getting back into your roots. Everything from the way you cook to just um, family lineage, to I'm getting a connection with a one. Like for me, she feels like your mom, and she's very much a spitfire of a woman. She's very stylish. She is coming through with, like, I see a big pin on her, honey, and she has the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the tailored jacket, like whoever this woman is, she's immaculate in dress, and she's just like, yes, and I keep picking up you going back to that, or you revisiting that, and I also pick up a lot of healing regarding that too. I feel like what's going on is that you're doing a lot of healing, a lot of inner work, a lot of inner child work, healing the little boy, because it's funny, as buoyant as you are, and as um what's the word I'm looking for? As like people gravitate to you. But it's interesting because what I'm seeing is someone who's extremely shy, someone who's very quiet, someone who's about their business, someone who you can be very extroverted. That's the word I was looking for. You can be very extroverted when needed, right? Like people put a camera in your face, or people ask their opinion of something, ask you their opinion. You can be that, right? But deep down, you're very simple. You're very simple. Baby, I definitely see you got expensive taste though, because you love your things and they love you. Because I'm seeing a lot to do with sculptures and artwork. That's something I'm actually seeing that you may go into, because I would not be surprised if you ended up painting, or maybe not building things. I'm seeing you paint. I don't know why I'm seeing you paint, or there's something you're gonna end up doing with like painting, writing, collecting, and it may not be you painting, but you collecting things, almost like an estate, collecting a lot of antiques, things of that nature. But um, I really pick up a lot where, yeah, I think not that people had the wrong idea about you, but they don't know how sensitive you are. They don't know how deeply you care. You know what I mean? Like you're the kind of person, Mr. Williams, where you will give your shirt, like literally, you will give your shirt off your back to help somebody. But I think now the difference is you're more of like, I'll help you if it's more of like, I'll help you, but I expect you to help yourself. Because the one thing I'm also picking up around you too is that because of your sensitive demeanor, people often take your kindness for weakness. But it's so interesting because when it comes to business, when it comes to contracts, which I do see you signing quite a few, I want to say two, maybe four. There's some things you got going, like bubbling under. I feel like you got some irons in the fire, and they all relate to business. And it's not just with hair; it's with clothing. It's with um um gosh, owning a property. There's so many different things that you're doing. Um, Yeah, and once again, I keep seeing the books too. And I'm also seeing you doing speaking engagements as well. I feel like there's something that you want to talk about. There's some things you need to get off your chest. And I feel like you're really gonna help entrepreneurs who are coming up, and even the ones who are quote unquote established. You're gonna help them too, because you're very philanthropic. But like I was saying earlier, I think underneath, like I said, the extroverted, um, what's the word? The extroverted attitude, there's someone who's extremely shy, there's someone who's extremely sweet, there's someone who's extremely warm, very funny, very funny. You use humor, you use humor in a way like a mask to cover up how you feel, a lot. Very sexual. I might add, I have to bring it up too because I do see that. You're very sexual. You're very, what's the word? You know what it is for you? It's like, it's not a label for you. It's an energy exchange. Everything for you is an energy exchange. If the energy isn't right, you won't do it. If the energy is right, you go for it. And that's with everything you do. That's with relationships. That's with yourself. That's with family members. That's with business. You feed off of good energy, and maybe not good energy, but like people who are driven, people who are fun, people who want to have a good time, people who want to be happy. You feed and thrive off of that. You don't really do the muck and mire too much, but when you do it well because I definitely see there are moments where the TV watches you. I think you've gotten better with that, with your sleeping habits. But I do see that there are moments where it's like, okay, it's watching me, I'm not watching it. But I am picking up around you for some reason. Um, yeah, for you as you're getting older, it's not the exterior that matters, it's the exterior. It's what's inside. You're becoming more aware of that than I think. Not saying you haven't before, but I just feel like more so now. It's becoming more. You're becoming more aware of that. Um, I'm gonna pull some cards on this and see what we get. Okay. All right. So a lot of air cards here. So this is telling me it's dealing with the mind. We're dealing with decisions, dealing with some traveling. Okay, so I'm gonna go with this one because this is what's yeah. So we'll go with the Four of Swords. So what this is telling me, this is the card I pulled in the what may help you position, Mr. Williams. So what this is telling me is that you really need to relax. You need to stop living, and I said it earlier, you gotta stop living in your head. Okay. And you have to find peace of mind. All right. You got to cut what no longer serves you, not just mentally, but when it comes to business deals, when it comes to anything that's contractual, when it comes to things that affect your mental health, you got to let it go. You got to start putting you first. And what I'm also hearing is you have to learn to say no. because you don't say it enough. And you do say it, but then you'll go back on it and do it anyway. You can't be all things to all people. So what will help you, Mr. Williams, is you honestly saying no and standing still in that and allowing things to flow instead of you trying to control everything, because you are a control freak. Just saying. All right. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go with this. Okay, so this card I pulled, this is in what is the problem? Like what's really going on? What's affecting you? So this is the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups is telling me that emotionally, there's some things in your life that you're not happy with. That you really are like, you know what? You're trying to make it work, but on one hand, it's like it's giving me a lot of anxiety. Or if you're not unhappy, if that's not the case, you're doing a lot of cleansing, you're doing a lot of healing, you're letting go of a lot. So now it's like you're trying to reap the benefits and process what you've gone through, which I think is more fitting, because what I'm hearing in my head is rest, rest, rest. So what this is telling me is that you're doing, and I've seen you actually crying a lot. So what this is telling me is that you're doing a lot of healing, you're purging, you're letting go of a lot of baggage. But at the same time, you're not giving yourself the opportunity to really process what you've been through and say, you know what, okay, I've been through that. Let me process it. Let me rest up, and then then we can keep it moving. And it kind of makes sense even with this card too, because in order for you to get the kind of inner peace that you're wanting mentally, you have to let go of the things that is not serving you in your heart. And this is not necessarily with people. This is more so with you and your own stuff. So yeah. All right. So okay, I'm gonna go with these two. Okay, so the first two cards I pulled were these. This is you have the Two of Cups and you have the Justice card. So what this is telling me is that in the past, we're gonna go with the Two of Cups first. So in the past, right, partnerships have not always fared you well. Um, especially when it comes to maybe not necessarily love and relationships, but just matters of the heart, friendships, things like that. And it feels like to me, what I'm picking up from this is that you wear your heart on your sleeve. You really take friendships and relationships to heart. So like when it ends, it really does affect you go through a grieving period, and I think you've spent a couple of years grieving, the things you've lost. And it feels like to me, this is not necessarily a love relationship. This is more so like friends. I feel like I'm picking up like three people that have passed. One's a man, and he's also a snappy dress. He's a snappy dresser and he's a dancer. Because I'm seeing somebody voguing. And they're voguing down. Oh my god, they're voguing. One's a singer. Uh Kind of reminds me of Jermaine Stewart, actually. If you guys know who that is, leave let me know in the comments if you know who Jermaine Stewart is. Because I see somebody who's like they're singing, dancing, and they're all creative types. And then the other one that I'm picking up, yeah, because I'm picking up three dudes, and these are all men, and they're all creative. One is either a designer, another one's a singer, dancer. I see somebody with like really long straight hair, like a blowout. Kind of reminds me kind of reminds me of like Jermaine Stewart and Prince, if you put them together. And then the other one that's voguing is just dancing and you know and laughing and stuff and just life of the party. I know who these people are, but they're coming through. And I feel like that's what's going on. I feel like you're mourning a lot. You're mourning old friends, or you think about like a lot of old memories pop up. And I get the number 20, either like 20 years ago, 2025, 20 years ago, something like that. And then what this is also telling me with the justice card is that now you're mourning, but at the same time, I feel like the mourning has allowed you, or the heartbreak has allowed you to view life in a more realistic way. Because it looks like to me at that one point in time, during this time, you had a lot of naivete. Whereas now, you're not a hardened person, but you're not someone who is easily swayed. You're someone that's like, listen, okay, I don't have time for this bullshit. Either we gonna do it or we not. And that's with anything. Um, and I feel like now you're growing a lot. And it feels like to me, you're really like I said, I think people underestimate you because I definitely hear it, baby, and you got a mouth. You are not one. You will cut people off quickly. And it's interesting because you know what it is, Mr. Williams, you remind me, and please don't take this wrong, but you have the energy now. You have the energy now of a pimp. You really do. Now, mind you, when I say that, what I mean by that is if you look at like the old school, like the Bishop Don Magic Wands and people like that, right? If you look at those people, granted, yes, they look outlandish with the cars and the furs and the suits. But if you hear them talk, there's a lot of wisdom, there's some truth in there, and they don't bullshit you. They are who they say they are. And I feel like with you, Mr. Williams, that's exactly what it is. You're just at the point now where it's like, no, I'm going to show you every color in my crayon box. And you can either like it or you can kiss my whole ass. I don't give a shit. Um, so yeah. Now, and here's the final card that I pulled. The final card I pulled is a judgment card. So what this is telling me is this is about making decisions. And also not only that, but being okay with the decisions that you've made, the choices that you've made and that you're making. And what this is telling me is that now that you've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, worn it a couple times, lost weight, gained weight, bought a new outfit, you're okay with everything. You're okay with who you are. You're okay with where you've been. You're okay with where you're going. You're not one to question your motives anymore. You're not one to question if I can handle that. You're like, no, I can handle anything now. And I really get that a lot of this has to do with your faith. Um, I don't know if you're a big Christian, but I hear in my head you saying, I don't have to worry, baby. I got a God. I hear that kind of attitude towards you. Like you're just like, no, I know where I'm going. I know that the divine has pulled me through. So I'm hearing a lot of that. And I feel like now you're just not only more confident, but more self-assured and more self-aware. So yeah, and I would say, baby, keep praying, keep meditating, keep manifesting, because that's one thing you are, honey. You are a manifester down, and I get something to do with you working either with Chase or with Wells Fargo in regards to your businesses. So with that being said, I think we are done with the reading. Mr. Williams, if this resonated with you, let me know. If it didn't, let me know. And for those of you who have been watching, thank you so much for watching my reading, for being a part of my Sugarbear family, for loving on me, for subscribing to the channel. Make sure you give it a like, make sure you comment, make sure you share it. And until next time, my Sugarbears, honey, I will see you soon. Have a great, great rest of the evening, and I'll talk to you later. All right. Bye bye.